Hi guys, welcome to Fandom Newbie. My name is Shruti and today I'm going to be talking about the top 10 binge-worthy, unputdownable books that I have read. These books are honestly so gripping and so thrilling that I was not able to put them down at all. So I thought that I'd share that with you guys. And also stay tuned until the end of the video because I am going to be announcing the details of my 4,000 subscriber giveaway. So if you want to know the things that I'm giving away and also how to enter that, then do stay tuned until the end of the video. But yeah, without further ado, let's just get started. The first book that I want to talk about is The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but The Silent Patient. Now, this book is structured in such a way that you just can't help but binge read it. So the thing is that each chapter is like written very concisely and very crisply, so they're like really short chapters one after the other. So because of that nature of how the book is structured, like you just have to know what happens next. You finish one chapter, it leaves off at like a semi cliffhanger. You want to read the next one, you want to read the next one, you want to read the next one. Like it's just how this book is structured, and it's so gripping. So what this book is about is basically that there's this woman and her name is Alicia. Yeah, her name is Alicia, and she seems to be in a seemingly happy relationship with her husband. Like they seem to have the perfect relationship until one fine day Alicia shoots her husband in the face like multiple times. And then the mystery aspect of it is that after she commits this crime, she just goes silent. Like she doesn't utter a word, she just stops talking. So nobody really knows what happens and like why she committed this crime, because she goes completely silent, and she's admitted into a mental institution. Now our main character is a psychotherapist who wants to treat Alicia, but he just doesn't want to treat her and like get her to start talking. He also wants to kind of solve the mystery of why Alicia killed her husband and like shot him so many times. So that's what like the mystery kind of revolves around, and it is a very interesting and very gripping mystery. The only thing that I didn't kind of like about this book is that I actually predicted the end. So the twist which happens at the end, like to me it was easily predictable. To me, I'd already guessed that this is probably where the book is headed. So towards the end of the book, I was a little bit disappointed just because I wasn't shocked by it. Like I already guessed what the end would be before the end actually happened. So I was left a little bit disappointed by the ending. That was just my experience, but yeah, definitely a binge-worthy book. I read this book in I think 1 or 2 sittings. But like I could not stop reading this book. So give it a try and see if you also guessed what the ending is. Let me know down in the comments actually if you also guessed what the ending is when you read The Silent Patient. The next book is One of Us is Lying by Karen McManus. Now, this is another thriller, like psychological thriller kind of book. And the premise of this book is basically there are 5 teenagers who have all wound up in detention. And the crazy thing that happens is that at the end of that detention, one of them is found dead. So, of course, the suspects are the other people who are in that detention hall. Now, the other kids who are in the detention hall are very like suspicious acting, but it's also because they have a lot of secrets that they need to hide. Because the person who dies is actually like, I think he runs like a gossip column or something, and he's going to expose all their secrets on that gossip column. So he's killed before he can expose all their secrets. So of course, again, these people are like the suspects of the crime. So it was a very interesting book. In this case, I was really surprised by the ending. Like I couldn't guess it. So overall, a very satisfactory thriller, and another one that you just won't be able to put down. The next book is Angels and Demons by Dan Brown. Now, this book also follows the famous symbologist Robert Langdon, who's also in the Da Vinci Code. It's the same character. So it follows Robert Langdon as he is racing against time to save Vatican City from a bomb threat. And he's also trying to save the different cardinals from the Vatican Church who have been kidnapped. Now, this book is just extremely fast-paced. Like, oh my god, it moves so fast and it's so thrilling and it's so gripping. Like, the thing that I love about Dan Brown's books is how he kind of weaves in culture, history, like symbols and symbolism and like cryptic messages, how he weaves all of this into a book so that it seems kind of like a mixture of historical fiction with a thriller with just like, you know, normal fiction. Like, I can't explain it really well. I feel like I'm not doing a very good job at explaining it, but he just does such an amazing job at weaving in like historical conspiracies and other aspects into his book that it just seems so real and so true. And even though like a lot of his books are based on conspiracies, it just feels like it can be real because he just writes it in such a nice way. The next book is Through the Woods by Emily Carroll. Now, this is a horror story graphic novel. The thing about this is that each story is just more twisted and scarier than the previous one. So that's the thing that makes you want to read, like keep reading this book, because each story just like progressively gets scarier and more creepy and just like more twisted. And the illustrations in here are also so haunting. Like, let me see if I can show you one of them. It's just so creepy. Like, I don't know. It just gives off a very like strange and creepy vibe, and it was really fun to read. Like, if you're into the horror genre and if you're not like very easily spooked, then definitely read this book at night with like, you know, just like one light on kind of in your room, because it's worth reading it like that, because it's just that like creepy. The next book is The Martian by Andy Weir. Now, this is an adventure epic kind of book. So basically, an entire team of astronauts heads off to Mars for a mission, and then they're suddenly hit by a sandstorm. Now, because of the sandstorm, they need to evacuate Mars, but unfortunately, one of them has left behind. So then it's basically kind of like his survival story of how he survives on Mars with minimal resources and how he like finds a way to get back to his teammates. Now, because it's kind of like this survival story, you might be thinking that this book is super serious and super intense, but that's where you're wrong, because this book was such a riot. It was so funny, and it was just so like, it was so witty and so sarcastic. Like, the main character himself is very witty and very sarcastic, so it was just so funny and really enjoyable to read. Plus, like I said, because it's like this adventure epic kind of book, it's very gripping and very thrilling, and you get super invested in like this survival story of this character. Like, you're really rooting for him and you really want him to survive and succeed and get off of Mars. So like, overall, it's just a very cleverly written, very funny, extremely gripping book, and it's one of like my favorite books that I have ever read. So yeah, I highly recommend The Martian. Like, definitely check it out. The next book is Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. Now, it's been a while since I mentioned this book on my channel, so of course it had to make a reappearance. But this is the first book of a fantasy duology set in the Grishaverse, which is the same world as the Grisha trilogy, the Shadow and Bone trilogy. But it's set in the Grishaverse in a city known as Ketterdam. Now, Ketterdam is ruled by a bunch of corrupt politicians and a lot of gangs. So who our main characters are in this book is basically a bunch of these misfit gang members who have come together to pull off a heist. So think of this book kind of as a fantasy version of Ocean's 11 with magic. It is just so good. I absolutely love this book. Like, everything about this book, from the world building to the story to the character development, like especially the character development, it is just amazing. I really recommend Six of Crows. It was like my top book that I read last year in 2020. So yeah, definitely check out Six of Crows if you haven't. The next book is The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Now, I've also spoken about this book quite a bit on my channel. This book is basically about the story of Evelyn Hugo. Evelyn Hugo is this fictional actress who was like a famous Hollywood actress in the 1950s and 60s. And it's basically the story of her life. Like, why she had 7 husbands and all of like the things she went through while trying to become an actress in old Hollywood. Now, the thing that makes this book super unputdownable is that it's just filled with so much drama. And the character of Evelyn Hugo is just so enigmatic and so charismatic that you're like, you get hooked onto finding out more about her life. You just want to know what happens next. You just want to know what are like the crazy things that have happened in her life and why actually she has 7 husbands. Plus, the way Taylor Jenkins Reid writes her books is that even though it's historical fiction, even though it's like completely fiction, like all the characters in this book are completely fiction, she just writes in a way that makes it seem so real. So like you cannot put her books down. She's a phenomenal writer. So again, highly recommend The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo or any Taylor Jenkins Reid book. Just definitely check it out. The next book is Two States by Chetan Bhagat. Now I know all of you must be thinking, really Shruti, there's a Chetan Bhagat book on this list, but honestly, I could not put down this book when I first read it. Like, this book is the story of Krish and Ananya. Krish is from Delhi, Ananya is from Chennai, and they both meet at IIM Ahmedabad when they're like where they're studying, and they fall in love. Then they have like a really cool love story in college, but then reality hits when they finish college and they kind of have to convince their parents to accept their love and accept that they want to get married, because both of them belong to polar opposite cultures. Now, the thing about this book is that the story is very simple. It's a very like Bollywood kind of story, but the book is just so relatable. Like, a lot of the things about college life, a lot of these things about like, you know, having a North Indian, South Indian like relationship and marriage is just very relatable. Of course, yes, there are some parts of it which is like very stereotypical, and Chetan Bhagat has like overplayed and overhyped stereotypes which are there in the country, which is not like necessarily a good thing, but still, like, it's just super relatable, it's super funny, and it's a very quick read. So yeah, I know having a Chetan Bhagat book on this list might be strange, but honestly, it is a very binge-worthy book. And if you're looking for something that's super light and super relatable, especially for an Indian audience, and one of the only Chetan Bhagat books that I have genuinely liked, then check out Two States if you haven't already. The next book is The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. Now, this is a young adult dystopian fiction book that is set in a world called Panem. Now, Panem has been divided into 12 districts and the capital basically rules over these 12 districts in a very unfair manner, like also ruling it with like an iron fist. And the way that the capital kind of controls these districts and prevents them from rebelling against the capital is by hosting what is known as the Hunger Games. Now, the Hunger Games is basically this televised kind of a reality show where one girl and one boy, like literal children, are chosen from each district, and they are made to fight to the death in an arena. Now, like I mentioned, it's a reality show. So basically, this arena where these children are fighting to their deaths is televised in all the districts, and it's like mandatory viewing for everyone, including the parents of these children, to watch this and like witness these kids, like actual children, killing each other. Now, our main character in this book is called Katniss Everdeen, and she basically, when her 12-year-old sister is chosen for the Hunger Games, she can't bear to have her young sister go out and most probably die. So she volunteers to enter the Hunger Games, and then we basically follow her on her journey to the games and in the arena. This book is just one of the most gripping, one of the best books that I have ever read. You will not be able to put these books down, and you will just like binge read the series because they are phenomenal. I highly recommend the Hunger Games trilogy if you haven't read it already. And the last book that I want to talk about is The Knife of Never Letting Go by Patrick Ness. This is another dystopian fiction kind of book, and it is set in a town known as Prentice Town. Now, Prentice Town is a strange town because it was basically like a germ kind of spread throughout Prentice Town, which killed all the women, and the men survived, but the men survived with the noise germ. Like, the name of the germ is called the noise germ. They survived with this noise germ within them, which gave them the ability to read each other's minds. So no secret is safe in Prentice Town. Basically, every man can read another man's mind, and it's just very, very like crazy. Now, our main character is a boy named Todd, who is on the verge of his 13th birthday. And on your 13th birthday in Prentice Town, you become a man. He's on the version of becoming a man when suddenly he stumbles upon like a secret. He stumbles upon a person that ideally shouldn't exist in Prentice Town. Basically, he stumbles upon a girl, and from there it's revealed like everything he knows about Prentice Town is not what it seems like, and it's not what he's grown up thinking. And from there he goes on this like crazy adventure with this girl, because the fact that this girl exists like threatens the existence of Prentice Town in a way. So then Todd and this girl are on the run from people from Prentice Town who want to capture them. So the way this whole book is kind of written is that it's written in the form of a chase, where Todd and the girl are running and people from Prentice Town are trying to catch them. So because of that, because it's like this kind of chase, it's extremely gripping, and it's extremely like you just need to know what happens next, because you need to know that these characters are safe. It's very, very thrilling, very, very gripping, and just an extremely well written book. So yeah, highly, highly recommend The Knife of Never Letting Go as well. And yeah, now coming to the giveaway. So I'm going to be giving away 3 books for 3 winners. So each winner basically gets 1 book. And the books that I'm going to be giving away are books that I mentioned in this video. And they are The Martian by Andy Weir, Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. Now these 3 are my personal like favorites. They're some of my all-time favorite books that I have read, and I really want to be able to share these with you guys, which is why I have chosen these books to be given away. They are just absolutely amazing books, and I think that all of you will really love reading them. So that's why these are the 3 books that I'm giving away. Now the rules for the giveaway are simple. The 3 rules is 1, you need to be subscribed to my channel. Second, you need to follow me on Instagram. And the third one is to leave a comment down below on this video stating that you have entered the giveaway and which book out of these 3 would you like to win. That's it. These are the 3 simple rules to enter the giveaway. I'll leave the rules down in the description box below as well, so that you guys can check it out. And also, this giveaway is only open for people who live in India. I'm really sorry it can't be a worldwide giveaway at this point in time. But yeah, it's only open to people who live in India. So if you live in India, you can easily participate in this giveaway. So yeah, that is my video for today, and those are the rules for the giveaway. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys enjoy participating in this giveaway. It's like one of my first giveaways on this channel, so I'm really excited to share this with you guys. But yeah, that was my video for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, and of course do subscribe to my channel for more book related videos. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.